Hey, it's Shay from Shay Empyrean, and hope everyone's doing okay and doing really well at the moment. Look, I know that the energies are pretty intense, okay? There's a lot of stuff going on. Um, Even though for a space of time it felt like things were kind of easing up, and then now we're kind of, yeah, a little bit more. And it's more, a little bit more intense, sorry. But it's more that things are coming in different ways, okay, other than what has been somewhat obvious, I guess, in regards to what we've had to deal with recently, okay. Um, and I will get into something in a minute. But just for now, I just want to discuss some current energies that are happening. Um, I'll go through the crap stuff first, yes. um, Okay, so clairsentiently, for the last few days, I've been feeling a lot of different things. Okay, there's a lot of different things coming in, and it's completely mental, to be honest. Some of the stuff, but is what it is. Okay, all right. The other day I felt my hands, and this is what you guys have been feeling. As I've said before, whatever I'm feeling, it's because you guys are experiencing it and it's coming through to me, okay? The other day I felt my hands and my feet being twisted kind of outward, if that makes sense. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, kind of twisted the wrong way, if, yeah, that makes sense. Like just being twisted outwards and around, and this is part of the torture timelines, okay. I have felt my feet being twisted outwards as well. You know, look, we know how far our feet can go and our hands and it just felt like they were being pushed beyond that limit, the wrong way, so to speak. You know, and that was quite intense in itself. And then I believe it was yesterday, I felt like my hand was like being broken off, like literally like that. Yeah, pretty disturbing. And look, that's probably to whatever degree probably one of the kinder forms of torture, to be honest, that has been experienced and done on all different timelines across all time space realities, okay. The fires are still going. They're not as often as what they were, and they're not as intense either, which is really brilliant. That's amazing in itself. But yeah, they're just not as bad. And thank you. The other night I felt like a massive, I don't know, a massive engulfment, I guess, thank you, of fire. I mean, I was laying on my bed and my son was sitting next to me on his iPad, and I could just feel the flames coming up from my feet up my body, and I hadn't felt it to that intensity for a long time, and probably not since, yeah, thank you, not since last year. As I've said numerous times, first wave has experienced everything to the most extreme level, okay. All the clearings, the attacks, all these timelines that have been playing out, we've experienced it to the most extreme, so the most painful, okay. Excuse me. So yeah, the other night I felt the fire. I really felt the fire, and I was just like, oh my gosh, feeling like I was going to scream, because it was pretty intense. And you know, bless my dude, he came in and assisted me to just make sure that I was okay, and assist in, thank you, in stopping the fire from coming any higher than my waist, basically. So he was assisting in protecting me and keeping it somewhat controlled, I guess. because had that come any higher, I would have been screaming. It would have been too much. So yeah, it was crazy intense, like freaking mental. And I thought, what the hell is this shit? You know, my little human's having a little moment, and I have since come into some knowing about some things in regards to that, and you know, that's being dealt with. Thank you. Yeah. Bless anybody who was trying to send that shit my way. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, anyway, so that's being dealt with, and or has been, thank you, dealt with. Excuse me, that particular incident. But in any case, the fires are still happening. I'm still feeling it, but just not, as I said before, not as often and not as intense, which is really good. The other things that are still going are the sexual experiments, the baby factory, and all the stuff happening in the lower regions, okay? Some of you, as I've said before, you're going to feel like things are being pulled out of you, down through there. Yeah, look, those timelines, they're horrific. And as I've said before, there's a lot of feminine oppression, okay? Unfortunately, the feminines have copped it pretty badly over all time space realities, honestly. So you know, this is where we really just start to fight back now. This is what we're doing. We're warrior spirit coming in, and we're fighting back, and we're going to rebalance those energies, as I've mentioned before previously. That is part of why we're all ascending, why everything is happening at this time, in this time space, okay, to bring that balance in, all right, because the feminine energy wants their equality, wants that their right to be as equal as possible, okay, and you know, there's only so much you could there's only so much you can keep a good woman down, right? So long, sorry, but you know, from a feminist point of view, which I have somewhat been throughout my life, okay, that whole wanting to make sure that there is equality with all things, you know, this is part of our collective as well, wanting to make sure that there is equality, and that, you know, both sexes are represented with things, and have that equality, you know, and look, what my stance with feminism particularly is more, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander, and it goes both ways, okay? And what you will find as being part of this collective is that you are much the same too, okay? If it's good for the feminine, it's good for the masculine. If it's good for the masculine, it's good for the feminine, okay? It goes both ways, and we are aiming for that balancing and the equality, okay, with those energies particularly. Yeah, so unfortunately, in the meantime, while we're in the process of doing all that, we do have to clear all the shits, okay? We do have to clear all the feminine oppression bullshit energies that do come through, but it comes through to be witnessed and to be cleared, okay? And that's what we're here for. We are the conduits to, thank you, to basically do the energetic alchemy, okay? And we assist in bringing that balance in energetically, okay? Yeah, so yeah, there's been a lot of stuff with feminine energy stuff, the baby factory stuff. There was also something, where is it? Thank you. I was feeling, or did I already mention that? I think I mentioned that, but there's more work with more things, sorry, being done to the ovaries than what I had previously mentioned. And I was shown a snippet of it today. And I was just like, I don't want to say that. But it is what it is, and I do need to witness it so that I can discuss it as well, okay? As I said before, however graphic my detail gets, it's because that's what that situation was, and I do need to tell you because that is what you're feeling, okay? Some of you, thank you. So that was your little pre-warning, and now I'm going to tell you basically what it was that I was feeling, and what I was shown was basically things being attached to the ovaries, okay, and being pulled. Okay, so you would have felt like your ovaries are being pulled downwards for some of you. Yes, horrific, completely wrong, absolute bullshit, and all the rest of it, okay? But unfortunately, these are the things that have occurred on all these different timelines and whatnot across all time, space, realities, as I've said before, and this is what we're working to clear, okay? The other thing I was feeling yesterday was, oh, it was horrible. Large needles going into my ribs, so quite large, as in quite long needles going into a point, where would it be? You have the sternum, and then a little bit lower than the sternum, okay? Yeah, the needles are going in and inserting, and because I'm given the visuals, as I've said. So, yeah, because the second, as I've said before, the second I acknowledge, the rest of it comes in. Yeah, so the needles, the giant needles, honestly, were inserting like a substance into my ribs. What was it? It was like a going into where your bone marrow would be. Okay, so deep inside the bone. Yeah, there was substances being, or a particular substance, thank you, being inserted into that area on one side of the ribs. I felt that, and I'm like, that freaking hurts. And then I felt the other side, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, I don't want to feel it. It's horrible. But as I said, is what it is. Again, with the wrists, that's still happening as well. 12:23. Thank you. The the binding around the wrist and cutting off the circulation, that's still happening. I seem to be feeling that a little bit more as well, and feel like I have like thick sausages for fingers at particular moments through the day. Excuse me. Yeah, the other thing that has also been kind of continual every day is sunburn, okay, across my back, shoulders, down my arms as well. Excuse me. It feels like third-degree burns, all right? And look, if I've even had an itch or something on my physical body, I will go to scratch the itch, and then it feels like I've got severe sunburn, okay? But yeah, it's a bit full on in itself. Excuse me. But I'll be honest, that's probably one of the lighter things of all this stuff that I've been feeling. I think I'll take sunburn any day compared to all this other shit. But yeah, because there's, oh gosh, there's been so much. Also, mechanical, thank you. Somewhat deemed medical, I suppose, in its own way. On that timeline, mechanical modifications, okay? It's almost like, hey Chi, remember that one that you didn't really like last year? Here you go. Here's some more. Oh gosh, excuse me. So last year I was feeling mostly a mechanical arm being attached to my arm, okay? And so this time around I get to feel a hand, okay? And the second I acknowledged it, everything else came in and I saw the visuals, and I'm like, that's really disturbing, but is what it is. Basically I was seeing basically my hand was mechanical, okay? And almost like, what's that movie? Terminator, thank you. Yeah, like those moments where you see the robot underneath and you see all the basically like that to some degree. Yeah. But this came through last night, okay, quite strongly, okay. I had a mechanical hand and I still had flesh as well. So it was basically the mechanical hand was there and the flesh was around it as it would be like a normal hand, basically like Terminator. I mean, can we just call it the Terminator timeline? That'd just be awesome. But yeah, what I was feeling last night, I can hear laughing. But yeah, what I felt was, and what I saw, what I felt and saw at the same time, which isn't, was the robotic hand, okay, with flesh, and like some parts I could see the metal, okay, and some parts I can see the flesh. And I was also seeing and feeling a large-ish needle go into my hands, kind of across there, that way. Yeah, it was pretty gruesome, but it is what it is, and that's what was coming through. So some of you are feeling that, okay. Bless you. It is a tough timeline to deal with. They're all tough, they are, but that one, I found that quite tough last year, okay. Because there's drills with that one particular, the medical, I keep going to say medical, the mechanical, the Terminator timelines. Yeah, look, with that, you're going to feel drills going into your body, you're going to feel needles, you're going to feel rods being inserted, all different sizes of rods. You're going to, and if your thank you, clairvoyance is kicking in, you're going to see a lot of this stuff too, okay. Yeah, so you're going to feel all that stuff. You're going to feel drilling, you're going to feel screws going in, bolts, as I said before, all sorts of things, okay. So no, I said rods, didn't I? But bolts, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, anything to do with machinery and Terminator related stuff. But yeah, that kind of shit. Yeah, and look, just when you're feeling all this stuff, please do your best to stay grounded and make sure that you're keeping your body stable as you deal with all these energies. Okay, thank you. The other thing I've been feeling is like this vibration going through my leg. And because sometimes when I'm driving, I have my phone underneath my thigh, because I have the Bluetooth connected and whatnot. Anyway, yeah, so I thought that it was my phone going off. So, you know, whenever I parked and stuff, I checked my phone, there's no messages or anything, but I had been feeling the vibrating in my legs. And then it's come through today, basically, that, what was it? Testing of artificial arteries, okay? So basically, and because obviously I saw it as well, they should maybe just stop giving me visuals because I don't like them. Not possible, Chi. Okay. Yeah, so basically with that, some of you will be feeling like your leg is vibrating, and what I was seeing was these artificial arteries that had been inserted into the leg, and excuse me, and yeah, there's almost like an electrical switch that, you know, somebody has control over, and you know that it's almost like they're holding the switch and okay, we're going to test this now, and they flick the switch and you know whatever happens with that particular artery through the leg, it starts vibrating and things like that. So that's what came through earlier. And yeah, it's just like the stuff that scientists have done across all time space realities. I mean, bless them. You know, some people are just too smart for their own freaking good with all this shit, you know. Just, you know, use those smarts for something more worthy causes. Okay, 2037 and 2038. Okay, so excuse me. So this video is about surrendering. Okay. Now I do need to get through the other soul core wounds, a video for those, but before I do that, they wanted me to do this video about surrendering. Okay. Now I did touch on this previously, so I'm just going to kind of go into a little bit more detail about it. Okay. Excuse me. Right, so as I've said before, basically the second that you have made a conscious choice to start walking the fast track portion of your ascension process, okay, that is the point that you start, what would you call it? Thank you. That is the point that your soul kind of clicks, like, right, my human is going to start surrendering to me. Okay. Excuse me. And, you know, this isn't like a control oppression thing. I mean, some days it feels like it, but that's not the case at all. Okay. As I have said previously, basically the ascension process is the process of stripping back all your human layers. Okay. Everything that you have come to know as a human on a human level needs to go, needs to get thrown out the window. Okay. And this is the process of surrendering. Okay. And look, with that, it just depends on what your soul and what your soul and your team want to bring to you. Okay. To trigger you, to move you through your process in whatever way they see fit for you. Okay. And look, as I've mentioned with all these videos, you know, there's all sorts of things, all sorts of energies that come in and play out for you to witness and to either engage in, or you observing, thank you, and just viewing it and witnessing it. Okay. And you know, one of the biggest themes of the ascension process is detachment as well. Okay. Excuse me. Especially when things start getting really, really tough for your little human. Okay. Your little human, as I've mentioned many times, your little human's going to be willing to chuck a fit, basically, each and every time. Have a little tantrum, have a moment, get emotional, and, you know, feed the mental energies and the emotional energies, the negative aspects of them. The human wants to do that. Okay. The little human was comfortable where it was. Absolutely. All of our little humans were. But the second that we consciously decided that this is what we're going to do, we're going to embark on this journey, that's the second your soul has, you know, the switch has been flicked, basically, and your soul's like, okay, I'm bringing all this stuff to make my little human feel as uncomfortable as possible, to move them, to push them forward, and to help them grow. Okay. To grow as a being and at some point as an integrated human / soul self. Okay. As I've mentioned before, because that's what is and it is what is the eventual point or an eventual point, is that your higher self comes in and integrates with your human self, and you know that is your soul coming forward more. But yeah, in the meantime, as I said before, in the meantime, there is a process of, thank you, unlearning, okay? And part of unlearning is surrendering to your soul, okay? This is where the little human here really needs to start getting into the practice of surrendering to their soul and / higher self, okay? And part of that, probably the biggest part of that, is just allowing, okay? Just allow what is happening to happen, okay? And, you know, this is where detachment comes in as well, where you can step back and just, okay, I'm separating myself from this situation, and, you know, just build a wall. Not really a wall, but just kind of separate yourself and detach from what's happening. And look, if your soul wants you to purge that stuff, you will. They will push that at some point as well. But yeah, with surrendering, it is extremely difficult for your little human, okay? Particularly when you are being confronted with all those things, as I've mentioned before, all the stuff that you put away in that dark hallway, in that room right at the back, in all those boxes. When all that starts coming to the fore, that's when shit gets really tough, okay? And that's when your little human is going to kick a fit and be like, you know what, I don't want to do this. No, I don't want to face that shit. Absolutely. And guaranteed, every single soul, every single angelic who has gone through their ascension process has been exactly like that. Why would we want to face that shit? On a human level, why would we want to face that shit? Hell no. Can we just, yeah, like it is what it is. But, you know, as I've mentioned before, you're not alone in that process. Not by a long shot. We're all in this together. They're pushing the song. Yeah. Thank you. One of the things they want me to discuss, because we're doing a case study on Chi's life, okay, for the School of Funsies. Anyway, basically with the whole surrendering process, you know, my human doesn't like that. I'm just casually on fire again, man, honestly. So basically, as I've mentioned before, my little human has quite a feisty personality. Every now and then it comes out to play, and look, my higher self knows only too well of my feistiness, on a human level. And yeah, so through last year it was quite evident that my little human was going to put up a fight, basically. No, I'm not surrendering to that. No, hell no, I'm not doing that. No. I don't want to deal with this. No, that hurts and all the rest of it. Excuse me. I have, because of my feistiness, you know, some moments I can be quite tough and quite stubborn in that sense as well. So, you know, bless my soul for continually pushing through to get through to me, okay? Now, I have had moments where where, because I was just really stubborn and no, I'm not doing that. Nope. This is those moments where sometimes I would get called into meetings, okay, about how I was handling situations, about how I was allowing my human to come to the forefront instead of allowing my soul to come through even more. Hey, how are you? Welcome. Oh, my little fey friends. Beautiful. Yeah, so I would have these meetings every so often last year, particularly because we were doing the extreme process as well. Okay, so to whatever degree, it was somewhat understandable as well that my little human was going to put up a huge fight with a lot of those energies. Excuse me. But in saying that, it is still a process of surrendering to your soul. Okay, regardless of whether you're a first wave, a second, third, fourth, whatever. Okay, that is still part of the process. You still need to surrender to your soul and allow your soul to step forward more and more. Okay, and excuse me. And we need to, in order to surrender, it is basically releasing human attachments. Okay, as I've spoken of before, letting go of people, places and things that don't serve your highest good any longer. Okay, we need to let them go in order to really move forward in our processes. Okay, and it's all sorts of things. It's not just people, it's not just places, things. And look, you know, with what I mentioned in the addictions video as well, you know, addictions, things that we, our habits, our whatever it was that assisted our human in dealing with situations, yeah, we have to let go of those too. Absolutely. But yeah, as I've said, it's basically the stripping back of all the human conditioning. Okay, everything, literally everything that your human has come to know on a human level needs to be stripped back and unlearned so that you can relearn what it is to be your soul self within your human form. Okay, essentially that is what you're doing, what your ascension process is, and all the rest of it, all inclusive. Okay, thank you. That is, it's the aim of the game. Okay. Thank you. The reason why they want me to do this video on surrendering, I think I mentioned it before, but basically because with these soul core wounds, okay, because they're going to come up, you're going to get triggered and you need to surrender to it. Okay, it's basically, thank you. It's basically what they mean and want, what your soul wants. Okay, surrender to the process of releasing that stuff. Just allow it to happen, because the more you dig your heels in and the more you get stubborn, and the more it's going to hurt, the harder it's going to be. And the thing is, it's, you know, I've mentioned before about the build up. Okay, if we don't remove the stuff as we go and do that maintenance work, basically it does build up, and then there's a floodgate moment and everything comes out. Okay, the volcano erupts basically. They're just showing me. So yeah, look, do your best to just allow your process to unfold. Okay, that is surrendering to your soul and your higher self and your team and whatever it is that you come into within your process and however things present themselves to you. Okay, excuse me. That's not to say, thank you. That's not to say that you need to take shit from people should people bring shit to your door. Okay, with those kind of situations, thank you, because we had a situation last night which is very anyway, but with those kind of situations, this is where your communication with your higher self and your team really comes into play, because that's where you will listen to their guidance in how to best deal with those situations, and you know, whatever the negative Nancy's and excuse me want to an AI want to bring to your door, into your space, particularly if there's stuff you need to work through and it needs to present itself in such a way, okay? Thank you. For some of you, it's a lesson in being assertive, but being assertive in how would we put that? Being assertive in a kind way. I mean, I guess, but okay, thank you. In a way that you're not provoking the situation. Okay, so you're letting whoever know that you're not going to take part in this battle. You're not going to engage in this. Okay, and not provoking the situation either. Okay, yeah, that's just an example that's come through, particularly because of shit we had to deal with last night. But anyway, I won't get into that. But yeah, so basically, yeah, as I said, make sure that you do have that open channel, okay, to higher self and team, and so that they can guide you through particularly those kind of situations. And you know, with opening that channel wider and wider, that is also a form of surrendering, because you're allowing them, your higher self and your team, to guide you through your day, as I've spoken of before, okay, with things and how you're going to approach situations and interactions, and even just generally what you're going to do with your own time and space as well, when you're by yourself and things like that. Thank you. And whatever inner work you need to be doing as well. But yeah, yeah, just make sure you keep that channel open, you know, and keep working on having that conversation, you know. Excuse me. And yeah, so it is tough, okay, because as I've mentioned before, we were quite comfortable where we were. and now we have to throw it out the window, and our little human doesn't like that. Of course not, but that is what needs to be done, okay, for your ascension process. You need to let go of all that stuff. You need to unlearn all that stuff so that you can relearn who you are, get reacquainted with who you are on a soul level, okay, who your soul self is, so that you can really work towards integrating your higher self or your soul self with your human self, okay? And yeah, as I said before, like, look, I had a pretty hard time with it, of course. I mean, I was good where I was. But that's, look, now that I sit here in this position, you know, helping and assisting you guys, it was absolutely worth it. Okay, I'm not going to get emotional. It was, absolutely. I mean, the life and the shit that I was dealing with on a human level, screw that crap. No, that wasn't exactly comfortable either, but it was stuff that, with all the shit that my soul wanted to work through, it was stuff that I had to deal with. Excuse me, in order to get here, okay, but absolutely worth it, you know, for having a more peaceful life, I guess, to whatever degree. But yeah, generally just having a more peaceful life and having beautiful souls be a part of my life as well, you know. I couldn't ask for more, you know, and that's absolutely, that's my gratitude coming through for my process, having gone through all the tough shit, having dealt with all of that and really pushed through and kept going and going and going, because of that warrior spirit and that fighter spirit within, because you know that better days are coming, good things are coming, amazing things are coming, you know. And when when you get shown these amazing things and the energies that you're going to be coming into, because as much as you're dealing with bullshit, you're also going to receive some good stuff. I've said this before. And when they want to feed you little glimpses of what you'll be coming into and the energies and the life that you're going to live, why wouldn't you want to work towards that? Like, that's, of course I want that. I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. Why would you want to hold on to all that crap when you can have all that good stuff, you know, and live a more peaceful life, you know? It's absolutely enticing. And that's why they put it there. That's why they bring it to you, so that you know what you're working towards, okay? More than anything, so that this isn't all for nothing. You are actually going to get somewhere with it, and you're going to go further and further and further, okay? Because essentially the ascension process doesn't end, okay? You ascend on different levels and whatnot as you go through, but the main objective, initially speaking, is getting through the first part of releasing the human attachments, okay, and the, you know, the material attachments and all those what would you call it, negative aspects, thank you, of the human condition, okay, removing all of that so that you can allow your soul self to step forward more and integrate, and then off you go to do your mission work. You know, that's not to say that you will be doing your mission work in between, of course you will, but you know, excuse me, after you've integrated, it will just be more, it'll just be on a different level that you'll be doing your soul work, soul mission. Yeah, your divine mission, okay, but you know, that's it, that's the process right there. It's the process of surrendering your human self for the sake of your soul self, stepping forward more, okay, and having that integration of both of you together. And the only way that your soul self is going to really come in and integrate with your human self is when everything's been stripped, okay, everything's been unlearned, basically, from the human perspective, okay. All right, 4240, thank you, and 4241. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I believe that's all, thank you, that they want me to discuss at this point with this. Look, if anything else comes through, I'm sure that I will give you a little rundown about it, but for now, this is it. And then I'll get stuck into the heavy stuff again and continue this next mini series that I've stumbled into. But anyway, it is what it is, and these are all things that you do need to know, that I do need to discuss for you, okay? All right. If anybody has any questions about this video or anything, please let me know, and I will take it from there. But yeah, so I hope that you guys are all well and that you are taking care of yourselves, okay, and getting through all right. Some of these energies that are playing out, they're a little bit fierce, but as I said before, just make sure you keep yourself grounded as you go through all that shit. That's, yeah, the best thing you can do is just stay as grounded as possible. Okay. All right, guys. I will go now, and yeah, thank you so much for watching, okay? And I'm sending you all so much. I can't talk. I'm so sorry. I'm sending you all so much love, okay? Please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, mwah. Thanks. Bye.